That was the sound of the jar of names opening. This is the sound of me rustling up a name from the jar of names. That is the sound of me found. That was the sound of me finding a name. Anyway, whoa. Okay, so this video is for everyone, including but not excluded to Zap Rock Skull. Rather interesting name, that. Couldn't read it at first. Very well, right, so this is a Cup of Tea podcast. Cup of tea's at the ready, or whatever you're having. I have milk. I do have milk in my tea. I have honey in my tea today instead of sugar. It's interesting. Maybe perhaps a little bit more needed, but it's not too bad considering it's... Well, obviously, it's different, so it's not too bad. Right, okay, so where is my list being squished by the jar of names? That's quite fun. Right, this is week 37, and if you want to skip ahead in this podcast, you can go and skip to, by looking at my comments, the first comment, you can skip to TV time, when we talk about this week's TV, like Daredevil and Game of Thrones and everything. We also can skip to the update, which explains about the new pictures, and you can also skip to the topic, which is the final Overlord and things that happen about that. And you can also skip to this week's question, and you can also skip to the new feature, the goal of the week, which is at the end. Right, so let's begin with what we had last week video-wise and what we're going to have this week in video-wise. So, last week we had Cup of Tea podcast episode 36, 604, 2015, Overlord 2 episode 30, Nick Pro's Minion, Nick Pro the Enemy of Everlight, Harvest Moon Back to Nature episode 6, All Seeing Sparrows, Overlord 2 episode 31, Horror's Minion, Horror, the Phoenix Puncher, Harvest Moon, Back to Nature, Episode 7, The Mighty War Chick, Overlord 2, Episode 32, Cowardly Lion, and Sibling Rivalry, Episode 9, Hangman. Right, and then this week, today, on Monday, we have a Cup of Tea podcast, Episode 37, 13th of the 4th, 2015, and then later today, we also have Overlord 2, Episode 33, 40k Warrior Man's Minion, Admiral Chopstick, The Legion Looter. And then on Tuesday we have Harvest Moon Back to Nature episode 8, O'Reilly the Mining Buddy. And then Wednesday we have Overlord 2 episode 34, Dark Tornado. Thursday is another Harvest Moon Back to Nature episode 9, Happy Birthday Dear Ellie. Yeah, as you like, happy birthday Dear Ellie. That's it. And then Friday we have the last ever Overlord 2 episode 35, Evil Has Found a Way. And like I said, you can skip down to hear about the ending of Overlord with the topic this week. Right, what is after that? I think it is topic, so it's now actually, isn't it not? It is now. Yes, it is. No, it's not. It's update. It's update now. Sorry, update first. Right, so this week's videos, some of them did corrupt, so I did have to record with thraps. They were Overlord 2 episode 33, Overlord 2 episode 34, and Overlord 2 episode 35. Yes, all of them, which I was surprised at. But it was the final, so it's bound to happen. Okay, and also on the updates this week, I'm doing some new pictures. I usually go back and use old kit photos I've taken, but I've sort of decided, because obviously my new camera, I've been taking loads more photos, so I've decided to just use some of the photos that I've taken outside of Videoland, just so you can see what they are. Gives it a little bit of change and some new pictures each week, so if you want to see what I've got this week, I've got obviously the normal pictures to do with the video for the week just gone. This week we also have some other pictures like a dew daffodil. It's a daffodil where you can see the dew on it. And I've also got kissing bunnies because it was Easter. And I've also got a mini egg pile, which I did today. And we also got a very old tree. This tree is one of the oldest of its kind in Britain. So there we go. That's what I thought. That's why we went to there, and I thought I'll show you off as well. I've got some more photos from there. Probably have them next week if I don't have any by then. But that is that. So update. What else have we got in the update? There's also a new feature at the end of this, which is going to be Goal of the Week. It's going to be something where I set myself a goal to try and get by the end of it, and we'll see that as well. And also, I never did mention about the Disney quotes at the end of the episodes, which some people say are weird. Yeah, I never did mention it. Right at the very end, I give a Disney quote. Either it's inspirational or just keeps you going. Yeah, it's just my personality. I've sort of figured out what this podcast is. The podcast is me trying to put my personality in. Like, everything in the podcast is something to do with me, like crazy, part at the end, informative, structured. It's like me. The podcast is me, essentially. Yes, and then also this week we have the last Overlord on Friday, which we'll talk more about now in the topic. So the topic is this week the final Overlord 2 episode. What have we got to talk about that? Right. So I didn't really get across everything I wanted to say in the final episode because the credits were far too short than I thought they were. So I thought I'd just say the bits now which I thought I'd say, but it wasn't too bad at the end. Right. So what I want to talk about is obviously now it's finished. What's going to happen now? So those of you that know what happens, there is a structure to my videos. What will happen now is, now that Overlord 2 is finished, Game 2, which is in this case is Harvest Moon Back to Nature, will take Game 1's spot, which was Overlord 2. So starting from next week, which I'll talk more about this next week as well, Monday will be Harvest Moon Back to Nature, so will Wednesday, and so will Friday, and then a new Let's Play will start on Tuesday and Thursday. What that Let's Play will be, you will have to wait till the next week's podcast, or I do mention in the last episode of Overlord Raising Hell, Overlord 2. So you can find out what it is there, or you can wait until next week in the podcast, or you can wait until it actually comes out itself. It's quite a good one. It's a PlayStation 4 game, sort of. Also PlayStation 1, but yeah, I'll explain when you find out what it is. What else is there to talk about that? I think that's about it, isn't it? No, that's not what about it. That's not anything what I wanted to say. Yes, that's what the new game is. What does this say? Back to it. That's it, I remember now. Yes, and I will be going back into Overlord 2. Like, to say it's the last one is a bit of a lie. It's not quite. But with the subscriber specials or special videos, I want to try and go back into old games. I haven't done any yet, but I've got some Overlord Assassin's Creed footage from the old Assassin's Creed game, like it was the flag collecting. I was going to put that into a guide, but obviously now I don't really want to do guides. Like, I would sooner just stick to what I do, which is the more the entertainment side and, that sort of side of things. So I'm going to sort of put that into something I'm going to call it, it's like a pointing episode for the old Assassin's Creed. It's going to be like a subscriber special, but we'll see how it works out and what it's going to be. And obviously now, I was prior to this, so it's not obviously made for it, but hopefully it will now that I sort of set that target. So say, for example, the second game was From Dust. There is some stuff in there I need to go and do from Dust. That's easy to do. But things like Overlord 2, I've done everything. I'll give you a little bit of a heads up. What I might be doing is I might be doing some things where you tell me to do things that I can do, and I'll do it. Like, say, for example, kill, or collect a certain amount of money, or collect some treasures that you want me to collect, or things that you want me to try and do. Like maybe complete something without dying, or put on my weakest armor and weakest guns and try something in the arena on my own without minions or something. That's something like that. I think it'll work. So that'll hopefully be all right. What else to talk about? Is that it? Yep. I just want to say thanks for all the adopters. I like doing that. The minion adoption. Obviously, that's carried over to Harvest Moon as well now, which is good. Hopefully, more things like that in the future. Because I do rather enjoy doing that, and hopefully you do too. I think it's a nice little touch to add to it. And just thanks to everyone else that watched it and enjoyed it as well. Pretty much, yeah. And hopefully there will be a new Overlord 3, and if that does happen, I'll definitely consider doing that as soon as it comes out, because obviously Overlord is very deeply intertwined with my channel. Most people are found me through that, so I will probably do that straight away if that is entirely possible, if it is indeed Overlord 3. If it's not, then none the wiser. Right, what else is to talk about? That's the topic done. It is TV time. Now, TV time is a big week for TV this week. Right, so first off, let's start with things that are finished. We had Black Sails finished, a program that I really do enjoy. It was actually a really good ending. Like, I was really impressed, like the fact that there was a sort of a truce between two characters, and how one character drastically changed because of the events that happened. It basically means it's more like a pirate now, which is good. Like, I was actually trying to think about, what would happen if this plan, I won't try to spoil, I'm trying not to spoil it, but if his plan, the main character's plan, actually worked, how will they be able to do a Series 2? Series 3, sorry. But obviously everything that happened for a reason. It was good, because that means there could be a Series 3, which is amazing. Also, something I didn't write down is there was the Musketeers, which finished as well on BBC One. That I just love. It's my guilty pleasure. Like, it's not the best quality television, but it is very nice, and it just makes me feel happy inside. And it's one of those things. Like Atlantis is back as well, which I didn't know about, which is also good. That I haven't watched that yet, though. I'm going to watch that soon, because I've got something else to watch. Because now it's on to new stuff apart from Walking Dead. I'll talk more about Walking Dead in a minute. Because new stuff, Daredevil on Netflix. Oh, it's amazing. I'm on episode 11. I think I did have to pull myself away from it to watch it. It says, "Whoops, something went wrong. It playback timed out." I'm trying to find out what episode I was on. I think it was about 11. Yes, The Path of the Righteous. It is amazing. I'm loving it. One bad quote that I will say about it, I can hear it, is they don't seem to be able to balance the normal, just say for example when you have a superhero film, there's two sides of superheroes: a superhero persona and there's the normal day persona. Like say for Batman, it's Batman and Bruce Wayne, or say for example if it's Iron Man, it's Iron. I suppose that's the same because he's announced himself as Iron Man, but it's Iron Man and what's his name? Not Robert Downey Jr. Whoa, what's his name? Something Stark. How can I not remember? Iron Man. This is atrocious. Why do I have to Google this? Stark. Nick Stark. Not Nick Stark. Stark. Stark Tower. What is his name? Nick Stark? Maybe it is Nick Stark. Tony Stark. Oh. I'm not kicking myself. For some reason I knew I wouldn't call that. But Nick Stark? Why? Tony Stark. Why can't I remember that? Anyway, yeah. So it's like the persona of Iron Man and Tony Stark. Obviously, they don't really balance that very well. Like there is the two people. There is something Murdoch, Matt Murdock, and obviously the Daredevil persona. It seems weird because in like the Matt Murdock persona bit, he's not in it very much. Like there's got a law firm where it's got his friend Foggy and his other friend who we get introduced in the first episode, which is Karen. Like those always two seem to be doing the daytime stuff, should we call it? And then obviously you don't really see Matt a lot with them, so it's a bit weird and a bit jarring. And I'm not a big fan of that. I would like to see more court case scenes, is what it was called. But I watched a video about someone watching it saying he would probably expect that more in series 2, which hopefully that'd be quite good. Obviously, I guess they're just trying to set up the Daredevil persona a bit now. But yeah, the Daredevil stuff is on par. Like the fight scenes are amazing. There's a bit. Because he's getting tired as well, he's fighting them, but because he's like not a superhero, he's not got like super power. He does get tired and to get battered himself, and is very good. And obviously, it's just fun and amazing. I love it. The fight scenes are the best. Parkour is amazing. It just makes me want to be able to do it. But no, if you haven't watched Daredevil, try and watch it. It is fantastic. I am loving the hell out of that game. Ironic since I said hell, because it's devil and it's in Hell's Kitchen. I'm interested to see the final suitors as well in the actual episodes, which I should find out with the next 2, because I've only got 3 left, or 2.5. Yes, also we've got Walking Dead finished as well. That was okay. I really enjoy Walking Dead. But obviously it's Walking Dead. It's a bit like a BBC programme where you can expect what's going to happen, I guess. Where it's not something... I guess it's because it's really big. Like, say the BBC sort of thing. It's the same sort of level as that, where it's good, but... it's not like Daredevil amazing. Right, and also what is it? Yesterday. Game of Thrones started. I don't watch it until today, so probably when this goes up, I'll probably be watching Game of Thrones. That's back. I'm excited. I love Song of Ice and Fire. I'm reading the books along with the series because I prefer the more cinematic style, and obviously they've changed them now anyway because they've had to. But I'm reading along with the series. And I love it. I love all the conspiracies, all of the backstabbing and everything. Oh, it's amazing. I love it. All the different things about what's going to happen, who's going to be king, who's going to be queen, White Walkers, what they're going to do, the dragons, amazing, dragon. Can't wait. That's going to be good. Right, anyway, like I said, big TV time this week. Right, let's move on. Game of Thrones? No, that's the wrong one. Community section. Mention Monday. These are the people that commented on last week's videos. If you want to get in Mention Monday, place a comment between now and Sunday. And you will also get your name placed in the jar of names, which means you might get your name read off at the beginning of a Try Something video or a podcast video. Right, so, podcast, Mention Monday, here we are. So, this week's commenters are Nick Pro, 40k Warrior Man, Horrier, Dejan Petkovic, Sam Fro, and Ulik. Right, so thank you very much for commenting, and you are in the jar of names. Hoo-ha. Right, what's next after that? It's Q&A, is it not? It is the Q&A. Right, this week's questions. We have a few questions this week. Nick Pro says, JD, my friend, I have finally have a new question for you. What do you think about Far Cry 4? I love it. I've never specifically played it because I like to play things in order, and would like to go through Far Cry 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's made by Ubisoft, so I can physically go and do a Far Cry playthrough. I would like to try and do that at some point. But obviously 1 and 2 don't look the best. And 3 has some music at the beginning, which I know is going to be copyrighted, so I don't know how you can do that. Maybe I'll have to cut it out or something, but that seems to spoil it a little bit. But Far Cry 4 looks very good. I like the idea of it. It does look a little bit like Like, people have been saying it's like a Ubisoft game where you climb towers, you collect things, but I like climbing towers and I like collecting things. So I do like the look of it. I like the setting. I think it is a out-of-the-way setting, which no one's really done before, and I'm really excited to play it, and I would like to play it. Yes, so maybe at one point I will be able to do a playthrough of that, but not just yet. And we also have a question from 40k Warrior Man who says, I was thinking about this a few days ago to a question. What do you think of the similarities between Asami from Avatar and Lust from Full Metal Alchemist? I assume you haven't seen Lust yet. I found it was funny when I realised. Yes, I have never seen Full Metal Alchemist, so I cannot presume to know who Lust is. But I'm guessing the similarities are mechanical similarities. Like, they're both sort of really technologically clever. So I guess so. I don't know what the similarities are, but I'm guessing that's what they would be. But yeah, they are very similar, I assume. Right, what's after that? It is subscribers. This week's subscribers have gone up to 1,016 or 1,006? 16, no, 1,016. I'd have to check, I remember. 1,016, yeah, we're getting higher. I like it when it goes up. I don't know why. It's not because I like the recognition. I just like the number going up, I think. I don't know why. I like change it in some forms. But this week we have Brandifair178, Hayden, Hotus, and Hendy Prasetio Utomo. Some very unusual names this week. Yeah, but thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the team. You all each get a cup of tea every week on Monday with the podcast. It's free. Right, what's after that? It is the week's question. Last week's question was game loot. If you could make any sort of game loot, what would you choose? I thought it was quite a good question. And Nick Pro answered. And about your question, I would like a plastic hidden blade that retracts. A plastic blade I would be very cool to play with friends. Yes, they do have obviously the hidden blades, but they don't retract, I think. They only extend. And they don't retract back in. I guess that's because that's actually dangerous. But yes, I would like something like that. I would like to do. You can make them, but they're a bit hard. When I was dismantling my desk, I had what's it called? Like a rolling door tray where the keyboard usually goes. And I did notice that the bracket used on that is the same bracket you would use to make a hidden blade that I've seen before. So I looked at it and I was like, ooh, I could do that, but I didn't because I don't have a grinder to make the blade. Right. What is after that? This week's question. With Harvest Moon back to nature, what would you like to see me keep in? What would you like to see me cut out? For example, I cut out talking to the villagers if you haven't seen it before, or if I change the subject. If I change the routine, I do show you. But what would you like to see me? Would you like to see me talk to people all the time? Or just like I do at the moment, which is cutting it out and just put it in every so often when it changes or if something happens or that sort of thing. Would you like me to keep fishing in? That's the main one that I ask. That's why I started this one. The question is because do you want me to cut fishing out? Or do you enjoy watching a bit of fishing? Do you enjoy watching me plant? Do you enjoy watching me water the plants? I think I said that already. It's basically stuff like that. Do you like to see all this sort of stuff? And would you like to see it more or less? Or I don't know. Just let me know what you would like to see and I'll try to craft what I want to show in the game as well. Because obviously I cut a lot out. And it's whether you want me to cut more out or less out or stick where I am. It's up to you. But the main one is the fishing. Like, do you want me to keep the fishing in or not? Because that is one that's on the fence for me. Anyway, that's it for your question. Birthdays, if you have a birthday, let me know what your birthday is. I will say happy birthday when it's your birthday. I need to know, everybody. No one's let me know. You've all letting me down. I need to know what your birthdays are. It's nothing sinister. It's simply so I can say happy birthday. Don't need to know the year, just the date and the month. And the outro is because this is the week done. This week I'm now going to do the new goal of the week. I'm going to try and set myself a new goal to try and complete by next week. It's usually get the videos edited, but I seem to be on track with that, and that seems to be happening, so hopefully I'll keep on track of that. But this week's goal of the week is to start planning quarter 2. I still have not done it. I've sort of planned the one things I need, like this week's and last week's and everything. I've done all that, but I need to sort of write and planning them out mostly. I've got all of them written down that I'm doing. I just need to write them up neat and plan them and scene them and storyboard them and stuff. Because with my new camera, I've definitely taken a more interest to make them better. Like I knew it would happen, and it seemed to have worked. Because I'm quite happy with my Hangman video I did, and hopefully now that I've got a better camera, I'll keep that focus going. And I'm really, really pushing out this week's video. Like I'm really going all stop, full whistles, everything. Like I'm proper planning this out properly. So hopefully that'll be all right. But that's this week done. That's the goal of the week. Hopefully I can get it by next week. Last week's hint was it Hangman? Something to do with Hangman. Hangman's noose, yes. The hint was because it's Hangman's sibling rivalry, so and nobody got it right, so the Quiz Lord is winning. Ha ha ha! You're all not very good quiz masters. Right, and also this week's video, if you want to find out what this week's Try Something video is, I would recommend checking out Sibling Rivalry episode 9. There are a bunch of hints in there, be they, just hints everywhere, scrambled throughout. There's about 2, I'll say about 2, so it's not everywhere, but there's quite a few. Right, what else have we got? That's it for that. So I'm now going to finish this cup of tea with my honey, which I think next week I'll try again, but with more honey, just to see how it tastes. Right, that done. I will say goodbye. Thanks for watching, pointers, and everybody else, the team. Hopefully you finished your cup of tea. Hope you enjoyed. And everything that's through that. Just let me know what the question is, your birthdays, everything to do with that. That's it. I'm gone. I'm saying goodbye now. Farewell. And remember, they just can't get my nose right.